Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Raine and today I have some books to share with you guys. So the months of December and January have been pretty chaotic for me, as I'm sure they were for everyone else, but I also have like a brand new baby, so I'm just like super duper busy, but I still find time to read as much as I can and to also buy books. So I bought quite a few in December and January, so I'm excited to share them with you guys. The first book that I purchased in December is The Afterlife of Holly Chase by Cynthia Hand. This is a Christmas Carol retelling in that our main character was a Scrooge and she didn't turn her life around. So she is now a ghost of Christmas past, and this is her story. So I'm super excited to try this one out around Christmas time. I bought it with the intention of reading it this last Christmas, but I just didn't have time, so I'm hoping to get to it this year. Maybe I'll read A Christmas Carol and then follow up with this, and we'll see how it goes. The next book that I purchased is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. This is a fantasy story about several different Londons and our main character who can travel between these Londons. So in this world, there is a red London, a black London, a gray London, and a white London. In this story, we follow Kel, who is known as a red traveler, and he can travel between these Londons. He's one of the very few people who can do so. So it just sounds really interesting. It sounds unique, like something I've never read before. And I know there was a lot of hype about this for a really long time. I'm excited to try it out, and hopefully it exceeds my expectations. The next book that I have to share with you guys is The Bone Houses by Emily Lloyd Jones. This one I actually own on ebook, and I saw it at Barnes & Noble for like half off the cover price. Had to just grab it because this cover is just everything. It's so awesome. This story follows Raine, and her family are grave diggers. After her parents pass away, her and her sisters are left to tend to the graveyard, and in this graveyard, sometimes the dead come back, and when they do, they are called bone houses. I don't know much else about the story. It sounds like super creepy and fun. I can't wait to get into it. And these next two books I purchased are both part of a series, and that is Girls of Paper and Fire and Girls of Storm and Shadow. This is a pretty hyped fantasy series. I feel like a lot of people have talked about it and how much they love it, so it's really piqued my interest. From what I do understand, this follows a woman who is chosen as a paper girl. And in this world, when you are chosen as a paper girl, you are a servant or kind of like a sex slave to the king. And I do know that she ends up falling in love, I believe, with another paper girl. I'm not sure about the magic system in this. I want to say it must have something to do with paper, but I also want to say it has something to do with colors, but I'm not sure if I'm thinking of something else. But anyway, really excited. Hopefully I can read these back to back and let you guys know what I think. The next book that I have to share with you guys is Tess of the Road by Rachel Hartman. This is a book that I'm not really sure what all it's about. I did read the synopsis, but it's pretty vague, and I feel like it could go kind of anyway. I do know that our main character, Tess, kind of goes against the grain. Her parents want a certain life for her, and she doesn't want that. So she goes off for adventure on her own. And I do know that there are dragons involved. So it sounds like a really good time. I was so excited when I got this in the mail, actually, because it's a signed copy, and I got it from Book Outlet and not expecting a signed copy. So just to let you know, if you ever order from Book Outlet, you might get a signed copy and be like pleasantly surprised. The next book that I have to share with you guys is Crown of Feathers by Nikki Pau Prieto. And this, I believe, follows our main character, Veronica, who after a major fallout with her sister disguises herself as a boy and joins this group of warriors who ride phoenixes into battle. It just sounds really, really, really cool. I love the cover of this. I can't wait to get into it. I do believe I heard something about the magic system involving talking to animals. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I sure hope so. That would be awesome. I'm really excited to start this one, so hopefully it happens pretty soon. The next book that I have is also a fantasy, and that is Flamecaster by Cindy Williams Chima. This one is just kind of one that I wasn't too sure about to begin with. I'd seen it several times on Book Outlet, and I think it was a video by Brittany the Bibliophile where she talks about how much she loves this series, and it really made me want to read it. So thanks to her. From what I understand, this story follows Ash and Jenna, who are both forced into hiding. Eventually, they are brought together by their mutual hatred of a ruthless and cruel king. So I'm super excited to see where this one goes and, you know, get right back into fantasy. I feel like I haven't read a fantasy in so long, and I'm just ready for a good epic fantasy right now. The next book that I have to share with you guys is The Gilded Wolves by Roshani Chokshi, and that last name is just like so hard for me to say. I have seen that this was compared to Six of Crows, and that was kind of an automatic buy for me because Six of Crows is one of my absolute favorite fantasy series. So I really hope this does compare. It follows a gang of misfits who get together to pull off a heist. This one is set in 19th century Paris, so I feel like I might really enjoy that aspect of it. I really like Paris. I like France. Just the whole culture is just something that I'm super interested in, so I hope that this does it well and I end up enjoying it. I have seen a lot of mixed reviews. Some people seem to really love it, some people seem to hate it, and we'll see. I don't know. I have high hopes, but they're not too high to where I think that if it's not as good, it's going to ruin it for me. But I think it could still be a really good time. So we'll see. And the next book that I have to share with you guys is The Roanoke Girls by Amy Engel. And when people described this as dark and twisty and messed up, that's when I knew it was for me. So that's the only reason I purchased this. I do not know much about it. I think it involves sisters, but I try not to read the synopsis when it comes to mystery thrillers. I like to go in blind. I feel like oftentimes those can give a little too much away, and I want to go in blind without knowing anything. It's a lot more fun that way. I feel like there's more surprises. So I don't know a whole lot about this. Sorry, I can't explain it very well, but just know it's dark and it's twisted and disturbing, and if that's your thing, I'm here with you. The next book that I have to share with you guys is The Lies We Told by Camilla Way. This one is another mystery thriller. I haven't read the synopsis. I don't want to know, but I heard that there are a lot of surprises in here that you don't see coming, and I'm all about those twists and turns, so bring it on. And another book I purchased this month is Soft Thorns by Bridget DeVoe. And this is a poetry collection. I'm not someone who tends to pick up poetry very often. Every once in a while, I'll get a hankering for it. I just can't find a lot of them relatable. And I just really liked the cover of this one. And honestly, it was like $5. So it's been a while since I read a poetry collection. Why not try it out again? I really didn't look too much into this one, like as far as reviews and stuff. I'll just go in on my own just one day when I am in the mood for it, and we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll like it. Maybe I won't. And the next book that I have to share with you guys is actually a graphic novel, and that is Piper by Jay Asher and Jessica Freeberg. This is one that I have never ever heard before. It was like $2 on Book Outlet, and it really piqued my interest. I read the synopsis, and it sounded really good. The artwork on the cover is really beautiful, and then I got it in the mail, and the inside is also very beautiful. So I'm excited to try it out. From what I understand, we follow our main character, Maggie, who is deaf, and she falls in love with this guy, Piper, but he's not who he seems, or so she thinks. I'm not sure where this is gonna go. It seems like it's leading down a weird, dark path. I do believe this is a Pied Piper retelling also. So that's pretty interesting. I don't know. We'll see. It should be a pretty quick one to read, and I'll let you know my thoughts. The next book that I have to share with you guys is a manga, and that's The Girl from the Other Side, Volume 2. I actually read Volume 1 in October, and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was really good. It was really cute. It's kind of like a dark fairy tale. The art style is all in black and very dark, but it's super interesting. This demon creature here is named Teacher, and he is protecting this little girl, Shiva. In this world, these demon creatures roam, and if you are touched by one of these creatures, you will then become one. And for this reason, everyone has quarantined themselves. However, this little girl is on the outside with this demon creature, and you're getting tidbits of the story as you go along, so I don't know a whole lot of the backstory. I fell in love with the dynamic between the two main characters. So that's pretty much all we know. I don't want to give too much away of the first volume, because you do get a little bit. The first volume left off on a pretty huge cliffhanger, so I'm excited to get into volume 2. Another book I have to share with you guys that I almost forgot about. I could not find it for the life of me, and it was like on the very top of my shelf, and I'm too short. I had no idea that it was there. I think my husband put it there, and here it is. It is Hark, the Herald Angels Scream, and this is a horror Christmas anthology, and I'm like super excited that I got this. My sister actually bought this for me for Christmas. It was off of my wish list, and I was so sad that I didn't get to it around Christmas time because it would have been so cool. So I'm gonna save it until this Christmas, and hopefully I can hold off until then, but I'm just really excited. There are some really cool authors on here that I want to read from, so I'm really, really happy to have this. Next book that I have to share with you guys, I actually don't have on me because I let a friend borrow it, and that is Dead of Winter by Keelan Patrick Burke. This is a collection of short horror stories set during wintertime. I already read this and I loved it. It was a really great time, very atmospheric. His writing is just fantastic. He also wrote Dead Leaves, which is another short story collection of horror stories set in autumn. It's a really good time and really spooky, and this was no different. It was just a lot of fun. I ended up getting a ton of snow at the time, so if you check out my Instagram, I have like a photo of the book, and that was when I was reading it, which was really, really cool. That's all for my book haul, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video and watched it all the way through, embarrassing stuff aside. Yeah, so let me know down below if you read any of the books that I mentioned today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!